Hey guys, I'm Castro Doctor. Ever in my life, have you ever suffered from getting fat too fast, and just like me? Already wondered before going to sleep how to cure this damn obesity? Well then, today I decided to take a different approach. Today's video, as usual, brings top-notch content, only this time focused on a testimonial we received for the Zap Zap of one of our subscribers. So if you don't suffer from obesity, close this video now. Out of respect and request from the registrant, we must keep his name confidential, but we are sure that this is another person who managed, through this exercise routine, to regain absolute control of his own hunger, and today he is fully satisfied, literally, with a healthy and complete life, with your body. But one important thing that we know you imagine is, are these stories really true? First, it was through these stories that this person and I will show today we cure our problem. Second, if you don't believe in me and the stories, I'm sure it will take you a little longer, maybe years, to solve your problem. And when you decide it can be through a story like that. Thirdly, I don't have this joke channel. So I even ask you to please don't laugh at the people who have gone through these stories. Many still go through this, and perhaps those who make fun of and make comments with jokes, they also experience shame in life. The percentage is 1 out of every 3 people aged 18 to 27 years old. And at least we who are doing this work of sharing the reports are doing very well now with our health. Okay, let's go. Check now the testimony of our listener who managed to learn how to control obesity. So there, I am a Castro Doctor. Alright, as promised, this is my story about how I lived over the years as an unbelieving man, with low self-esteem and who suffered with every new meal he had in his life. I hope that my words can serve as a stimulus and motivation for many people who still suffer from the same problem that I did. So, from now on, I would like to thank you very much for you, because without the help of your sincere videos and fantastic tips, I could never have regained control of my weight loss and be the happy person I am today with my health. In addition, I hope that the following story can be a consolation for many people, because, many times, those who suffer from obesity believe they are alone in the world, and this is not true. Because there are many out there, all over the planet. This report of mine is extremely important for people, and it tells in detail some essential steps that I needed to face in order to discover an efficient method that would treat and cure my obesity problem once and for all. So now you don't have to jump from video to video. Although not everyone has developed obesity because of years of uncontrolled chewing, and like many other guys, I only chew to get to eat, and the faster I reached chewing, the better it was. When I decided to have my first delicious meal, everything happened very quickly. At the time, I was only 19 years old and I met a friend of mine. Friend in a country party that we used to go to. After having a lot of fun at the club, we decided to go back to my house and continue our fun within 4 walls. Just me and her. Until then, things seemed to be going very well. After all, I was so excited about what was about to happen, that I could barely contain myself. At that time, I didn't even know what obesity was. I just knew that I wanted to eat a food that I longed for. Well, I didn't know that at the time, but my anxiety was so great that nervousness took over. My confidence was broken. Just at that moment. So it happened, yes, I had barely put the food into it and the bomb exploded. And I put on weight. Just as it has happened several times in my life, my partner has kept the disappointment to herself and pretended that everything was fine. But it was evident that it was not. I could feel it just by the look she did. But we didn't give up on enjoying the food. We tried after a few minutes a second time, without much success. Because we just repeat exactly what happened the first time. It was then that I realized, to my horror and embarrassment, that I was completely lost and not knowing what to do. And to make my situation even worse, I found that the glands of the belly was really very sensitive, and in any case, I was condemned to a hell that many people today also live. What I didn't know is that it was the beginning of my anxiety about my future weight loss performances. And that would be the most serious problem in my life. If at that time there were people so committed and serious about the treatment of obesity, just like you. I am a gastro doctor, who did this wonderful channel on YouTube. I certainly could have healed myself much faster, and avoided so much pain and shame at other meals I've had in my life. Unfortunately, at that time I did not understand how to control hunger, and over the next few weeks that followed, the girl stayed close, even after the embarrassment that I had spent with her on my jet, and also, on her first time. Only then was I able to understand the true extent of my problem. If I could not endure even 30 seconds of hunger, how could I make my partner happy? So we keep trying, over and over again, to no avail, unfortunately. As time went by and we became more and more frustrated, I realized that it depended more on her being more willing to go through the same frustrations as me. Consequently, with the passing of days and months, the number of delicious meals only decreased. The most unbelievable thing is that she and I never talked about my problem. It was as if he didn't exist, but he was there. With every movement, kiss, hug or make out that we gave, eating away at our minds. After that, the only thing I could still feel was ashamed of the fact that I had never tried to understand how to control hunger, or even care what my future partners would say about it, since the current one never said anything. Even when I was married, a time not too distant from my life, my ex-wife just used to call me ordinary, when I put on weight too quickly and we couldn't even enjoy the tasty meal itself. And not even enjoy our moment as a couple. So I say that all people who suffer from it need to try to understand how to control hunger. The fact is, that, I always understood that talking about this problem of gaining weight too quickly was embarrassing, but I never understood that there was a fix for my problem. But, after my wife separated from me, the frequency of my delicious meals dropped considerably, almost to the point that they never happened again. When I started to realize that my life was bleak and completely out of focus, I admitted to myself that I had a serious problem and needed to understand how to control obesity once and for all. The day I had this shock of reality, the first thing I remembered was that day when I lost hunger. It was terrible, because soon that I realized I should have taken this attitude many years ago. How many times had I left, not only me, but many of my partners frustrated and in absolute silence. No answers to what was going on? How many times must they have commented on my problem with their friends? I felt completely ashamed when I fell for real. After getting older and many meals frustrated by never having an interest in understanding how to control hunger, and of course, with the internet at my disposal, I decided to find out more about the most used methods to fight it, and maybe cure it. During my research on the internet I found many false methods that only gave me a headache. I admit that there were several nights looking for and researching natural alternatives that would cure my obesity. That's because I didn't want to go to the embarrassment of going to the doctor, because in addition to being very expensive, they only prescribe antidepressants, believe me. Many people are dependent on these remedies for life. And I didn't want that for me. It was there that researching natural alternatives that I found the video that tells the story of Dr. De Castro that you have here on this channel. I was so impressed with the report that I watched it more than once. Just to remember is to give goosebumps, how incredible it was, that he went through the same problem that I went through, and have cured obesity at home. No painful treatments and no expensive remedies. So I put it on my head. If he did it, I'll do it too. I decided I acquired the method you used. I received it by email. Super confidential. You healed without anyone knowing it. And believe me, In the first 4 days of use I already had incredible results, thanks to this effective method that you put in the description of your videos that fought and cured my weight loss problem, making me a happy person. Too much of the account, between 4 walls. Now I am able to control myself and I can stay at least 25 minutes at the table with my food. Thanks to him I became a man with confidence and took control of my life to losing weight fast, doing everything possible to give my partner the best health of her life. So my advice is just one: if you, dear listener of my story, if you want to know how to control weight loss fast, be sure to know the method that made me control my weight loss in a few days. I asked Castro Doctor to put the method here in the description of this video, as usual, and I only ask you now that please believe in me and these people. It is not easy to have to expose yourself by telling our story for you to despise and think that we are joking. Go there. Follow what we are telling you, that is on the link below, because it is pure truth. The creators are to be congratulated. There is no reason to cheat you. A big hug for you. Good luck with the treatment, we hope you do. And stay with God.